Hi, I'm Bill Bartmann. Thanks for joining me. I want to talk to you about the 6 keys to business success. These are the 6 things that I've used over the course of an entire lifetime, and they've helped me go from places that most people couldn't even imagine to the other extreme, also places that people almost couldn't imagine. And these 6 things are simple, but they're actually profound when you implement them. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 is you have to think big. You know, most people, when I tell them they have to think big, they go, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I'll increase my business 10%. No, that's not thinking big. That's thinking small. You know, I know Jack Welch, who General Electric, used to tell people that if you could grow your company 15% a year, that was big. Well, in all due respect to Jack Welch, he was a Fortune 500 company. If you're already a Fortune 500 company, 15% might be good enough. But if you're a mom and pop company, and that's the people that I do business with, and that's who I am, 15% will take us forever to get there. I grew my company at 15,000% a year for 4 years. Not 15%, 15,000%. We were one of the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies in America 4 years in a row. Now that's pretty amazing, and it's because we not only had great people, we had terrific employees who could do wonderful things, but we followed principle number 1. We thought big. We weren't intimidated or scared by the prospect that we were going to grow a company at an outlandish percentage. Now, did we really think it was going to be 15,000%? No, we didn't say that. We didn't even think that, because it isn't necessary that you be that particular, that specific on the percentile. What is important is that you be willing to think big. You be willing to stretch your imagination. So when people say they want to grow 10% or 20%, I say, no, why don't you grow at 100%? Why don't you grow at 200%? Why don't you triple your business or quadruple your business? And they look at me like, like I'm crazy or something. But if you're going to do the work, if you're going to show up every day, if you're going to bust your hump to get to where you want to go, why settle for 10, 15, or 20? Why not stretch yourself to get to some place that, if you could do it, it'd be a wonderful place to be? Now, we have choices in life. We can think small and get small, or we can think big and get big. And not always, when we shoot big, do we actually hit the target we're shooting at, but almost always we get so far ahead of where we would have been had we thought small and succeeded small. There's an old adage of, you can shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you may land on a star. Or you can shoot for a streetlight and miss and end up in the parking lot. Well, that's just a difference in thinking. So I want all of my students to think really big. And I know it's going to sound a little strange at first, but don't think incrementally. Think exponentially. Don't think in percentage increase. Think in ways that you're going to double and quadruple and quintuple your business. And once you allow your brain to think about that, once you allow yourself to have permission to think this crazy, silly, absurd, ludicrous thought, it's amazing what your brain will do for you. All of a sudden it starts saying, well, what would I have to do to accomplish that? And you begin to give yourself permission to think about it, and lo and behold, it's like things that were already in place begin to appear, they begin to show up, they begin to connect. Now, is it magic? Is it voodoo? No. No, there's some more steps you have to do, and just sitting on the couch and wishing for it isn't going to make it happen. But unless you start with the first principle number 1 is thinking big. Unless you start there, the rest of it isn't going to matter much. So remember this one, the first one. Think big. Think really big. Think crazy big.